Hi everybody, Kevin Shaw here. I'm an English teacher teaching 10th through 12th grade, all levels at a rigorous charter school homeschool run by the county of Kern. And so that's a mouthful there, but I'm a part-time tutor and creative writer, and I've published a ton of things. So this video was sent to you, it's probably on YouTube, by a friend who knows me and knows you, right? And so I've just reached out because I want to help primarily people first that I know and their friends. So I'm offering a tutoring program, which I'll talk to you about. I'm also going to describe to you a little bit about my story, my struggles, because I feel that you'll be able to relate to that, and that'll give you great comfort that I'm not just this person who is from Mars and he writes and that's all he does in life, right? And I'm also going to describe the process for how you might actually talk with me. And so let's talk about the need first. So why am I even talking to you? Students during the summertime need to have time off, right? They need to vacation. They need to brush up on their skills. They need to re-engage with the family. They need to help you with that project in the backyard. They need to help with the pets, right? Watching their siblings, all of those things. And in addition, summer is one of those times, it's often the only time that students that struggle can actually erase those deficits. That's according to a lot of research. It's also a time for advanced students, those who are headed to top colleges, to gain the advantage to be the best, right? Because grades, even though they're earning straight A's perhaps in high school, are not indicative. They don't predict success in the objective measures of writing, right? So when they take the SAT, the ACT, the advanced placement exam, when they apply to colleges, when they apply to scholarships, those are being judged on a whole different scale than their high school teacher, who is probably, at least in some cases, inflating the grades. And this is a national epidemic of grade inflation that also affects colleges as well. But the real world is going to need your student to be a great communicator and to communicate very concisely, meaning very simply and getting to the point and in a memorable way that people can understand and appreciate, right? So I'm offering a 4-week program to prepare your student to give them that advantage. And one of these advantages, for example, is vocabulary. Academic vocabulary. Now, I'm not going to spend all 4 weeks on vocabulary. I'm going to give them a tool, and it's the 47 literary terms that every high school student needs to know. And this is also for elementary students. There's a separate list for them in order to be able to read and write anything. And it has a fun summer family movie activity that involves a movie you can watch as a family. It's a cartoon. And it'll kick off the learning for the rest of the year, or if you want to learn it for the rest of the summer, you can do it as fast or slow as you want to. And so that's one of those key prerequisites to really having a good year, is being very familiar with those terms. And watching a movie and discussing as a family is very bonding, and it'll also help your students to learn it. Now, the process of how I invite students to my tutoring, because I don't accept all students, and I also keep it to 10 or fewer students in a cohort. So I'm teaching in an advanced group and an aspiring group. So aspiring students are those who don't have the grades yet, but want to be advanced. The advanced students are those who are the top of their class already, but they understand that once they apply to UC Berkeley, Cal Poly, Harvard, Yale, Stanford, etc., they're going to be competing against the best of the best, right? I want to give them that advantage. So let me talk to you about my own story. Yes, I published many different things. I've had popular stories on public radio and competing against very well-known novelists. But I struggled with writing because I cared about it so much. And, I don't know how much talent I have for writing, but I made all the mistakes. And I'll give you my story. Out of high school, I was a mediocre student. I didn't have a very high GPA, and my extracurriculars were not the greatest. But I got some help with my essay, and I think because of the essay, and my SAT scores, by the way, were very mediocre, I got into all my dream schools. I got into UC Berkeley, UC San Diego, UC Santa Cruz, UC Santa Barbara, and my essay on Hamlet. By the way, here's a part of my story that you might be able to relate to because you might know someone who struggles. I didn't go to UC Berkeley because I didn't feel confident. I didn't feel I had the strength to survive. So I had to work on my skills, and I did. And I brought my skills up to the level, and I asked people for help. Even to this day, I'll ask people for help. And my essay on Hamlet, my research paper actually, the instructor who actually was voted by his peers across the nation as being the #1 instructor in the United States, he nominated that paper as the best paper that entire year in the entire university. And we worked on it, we fixed certain areas, and then he published it in the literary journal. And so I say that to say that there's hope for students that maybe don't even want to be good writers, but they don't want to spend all their time writing those essays. They want to be good enough, and they want to know the secrets so that they can spend their time doing the things that they love, things like football, things like volleyball, the things that they really care about. And not many students care about English and writing and reading, and that doesn't hurt my feelings. But we all need to be better writers and readers and thinkers and speakers. That's across the board. Okay? So the process works like this, basically, is you reach out to me, and the information in the description will have my contact information. And it's very clinical, by the way. It's almost boring, and parents like it because they don't feel like they're being pressured. So it's just a 1 to 2 minute phone call where I ask you questions about the grade level of the student and what you're wanting help with. And then we arrange, if it makes sense to you, to do a student strategy success session, which lasts anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes on Zoom. And it's with your student, it's with the parent, and we talk in depth about the student's needs. And just like any good specialist, I don't throw prescriptions at your student for what they should do, and I don't recommend my tutoring necessarily any more than a specialist will just automatically recommend surgery. No, you have to listen to the patient, and you have to use your expertise in precise ways. And that's what I do. It's very clinical. And I'll give you tools. During that session, I'll give you the list of vocabulary words, so even if we don't tutor together, it's free of charge to you. I have an academic writing guide that'll help your student as well. And it'll talk about the learning trifecta and my 3 pillars. My 3 pillars set the foundation. One of those pillars is organization. And, I give students the foundation that they need. And organization has to do with how you structure your time and whether or not you have the proper tools and the time to complete the task. So a student's writing an essay, do they have the tools? Do they have the time? And do they understand the writing process so they can break the task down into manageable bite-sized pieces and they can be successful in writing that essay? And so that's just one of my 3 pillars. The other 2 are secret, but I'll give it to you if you ask for my 11-page guide. And so from there, if it makes sense to talk about the options, which might include tutoring, then we talk about those options. All right, so that's the process. And again, I'm Kevin Shaw, full-time teacher, part-time tutor, founder of the Right Method Tutoring. And be sure to pick up the information in the description, okay? Thanks for taking the time to listen, and I'll see you sooner or later.